Hi, it's Cara Mae with Care Conscious, and today I'm sitting here with Dr. Ann Glass from the Institute of Gerontology with UGA. Dr. Glass, we hear so much right now about aging in place. What is the deal with aging in place? What does that really mean?
Well, Cara Mae, that's a really significant trend these days. More and more people are able to stay at home even with higher levels of disability than was the case in the past. And the reason for it is because people have made it very clear that's what they want to do. Most people want to stay where they have lived for a long time.
Okay.
So it's also actually more cost efficient when we look at it from the societal point of view too, because it's better to stay at home than be in a nursing home, which costs a lot of money.
Okay. So what can our family caregivers do to help their loved ones stay at home and really age in place?
Well, something they could do early on is take a look at the home that their loved one is in and see what kind of home modifications might be helpful. Okay. An example of that would be to replace a bathtub with a walk-in shower, for example. Mm-hmm. And if you could plan ahead and do these kinds of modifications ahead of time before they're needed, then you're good to go if something happens.
Okay.
And somebody needs those kind of modifications.
Okay.
There are other kinds of things that can make it helpful to the family caregiver. The one thing about having your loved one age in place is that it might put more responsibility on you as the family caregiver.
Oh, explain that. What do you mean by that?
Because it might be up to you then to make sure that your family member is okay and has the level of support that they need to be able to stay at home.
Okay.
So you might be more involved in providing care or making sure they're getting the necessary care. But one thing that can help with that is some of this new smart home technology that's becoming available. There's a lot of it under research right now, mm-hmm. and it's another way to help people stay home and stay independent.
Okay.
And one last thing, from a societal point of view, is that we really need to think about making our communities more age-friendly. So looking at it on a bigger scale, that means providing transportation. That's a big issue for people.
Sure.
Providing, more amenities and shopping and so forth, mm-hmm. close enough that people can walk to it. Those kind of things they're good for people of all ages, but especially for older people.
Okay, great. And then for our family caregivers that are watching, what if they're in a situation where they want to help their loved one age in place, and as you said, that could put more responsibility on the family caregiver to assist their loved one, and they have to bring somebody into the home. Do you have any tips for the family caregivers for having to bring somebody else in to help assist?
Well, I think we'll be talking about that in a little more detail, mm-hmm. maybe a little later, but finding the appropriate person that is a good match with your loved one, it can be challenging.
Sure.
But I think if you can convince your loved one that this is the way, this is what needs to happen to enable them to stay where they are, that's a pretty strong incentive for them to work with it.
Okay, and if they need assistance in that area, who can they call?
Well, possibility would be, of course, there's the area agencies on aging and all, which are always a good place to start, but
okay.
If you also need help in kind of negotiating what's happening in your home, a geriatric care manager might be the appropriate person to call. And sometimes your family member will listen a little better when it's coming from somebody objective and outside of the family.
Okay. Well, very good. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.